And we're live. Good afternoon, people. It's your
Yeah.
boy Uncle Fred, and I got the prognosticator,
Oh no,
the football expert,
absolutely
my
not.
man, my man, Mr. TK. TK, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing real well. Ready to get to it. Let's do some pick'ems, man. And
Do these pickums, man. Let's do these pickums. Let's do these pickums, man. So just for a little record keeping, I want everybody kind of welcome to the TK Uncle Fred Pick'em show for week 11. Yeah, I just said what I said. Week 11. It's week 11 already, man. The season is gone. It's gone. 2/3 of the way by, and man. I tell you guys, just be thankful when you have them because it's going to be mid-January and the season's going to be gone. You're going to be scratching for the next season to come around. So, kind of be appreciative and enjoy your football Sundays and your football Thursdays and your football Mondays because poof, they're going to be all gone. But we're going to enjoy them while we got them. Just for some record keeping here, we didn't get a chance to do a show last week because life happens, so you don't get a chance to do as much as you used to could do. But for week 9, uh, uh, TK and your boy Uncle Fred here, we had a pretty good week 9. That's the last week we actually did a pick 'em, and I actually went back and looked at the record. Um, you actually did 11 and 11. We had 15 games, and you were 11-4.
Nice, nice. All
11
right.
and 4. Your boy did 12-3.
Yeah, there it is. I was waiting on this shoe to drop. There you go. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You had a real good week.
that was good. Yeah, that was a good week, man. One of my best
Yeah.
weeks pickings. I was like, ooh, that thing was just like that. Make it look like I know what I'm talking about. Next week I'm gonna go 8-8 or 8-9. Because that's just the way that thing go, man.
He
You know.
balance himself out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we look. So I'm saying that to set the stage for this week because we're gonna have a good pick 'em. We're gonna pick winners,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna have a good, fun, entertaining show. We saw some interesting things last week. I know I picked a couple games in my head who I would have picked had we had it because I had everything set up. I know I missed on the Rams and the Dolphins. That was a toss up. I think it wasn't as fun a game as I thought it was going to be.
No.
That was, I know we talked about this. That was a weird game to me, just like you said, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the who was that? Was it the Minnesota Vikings? It was a weird game. Weird. It just kind of what's going on with that, Because even the announcer was like, that kind of game was kind of like, yeah. And then if you watch that game, was it Sunday night or Monday night? Monday night, I think, with the Rams and the Dolphins. I end up. I'm not crying about the Dolphins winning because I know they got offensive firepower. But do you think if you go into that game and you say the Rams with the firepower they got don't even score a touchdown, you'd be like, huh? No, really? They scored 15 points and 5 field goals? The Rams? McVay, Stafford, Cup, Puka, Kyron Williams? Not a single touchdown? Oh no, man. It just looked weird, man. It was some weird play called, and it was just weird to me, man. It's like, okay. I don't know what's going on with that game, man. This is weird.
Yeah, it's a name for that, but we'll keep it
Yeah.
moving.
It's just weird. Weird, man. Weird. I ain't gonna put on my tinfoil hat. But let's get to these games in week 11 here so we can so let's go ahead and start with our list of games. So our first game, and I got if you look on this on the crawl, the games I thought would now this game doesn't have the marquee games that the other weeks does. It has like one marquee game that I think is the best game, or it could be the game of the year. We'll talk about that when we get there. And there's another game that I think is a pretty good game, a great game, and another kind of good game. But the rest of them are kind of like, eh, eh.
I think we
So
got three. I think we got three solid.
exactly. You see what I
Really,
see.
really good
You seeing
game.
what I'm seeing.
And
So the first game we got is I think is probably the second best game of the day. And so we got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh at 12 o'clock. So we're doing the 12 o'clock games first. It's gonna be an interesting game because for the most part, man, if you look at the history of the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, always a close game. It's always a defensive game. It's never like a shootout like you think it would be. Those teams know each other. For some reason, and I guess it's because you have to feel familiarity, if I can say that right. Lamar never has great games against the Steelers for some reason. It's maybe because yeah, we know him, we know how to play him, we know how to play. But you know what the wild card in this thing is? Lamar ain't never had Derek before.
that's true. That is true.
He ain't had a dude like that, a 250-pound sledgehammer that can run past safeties and corners once he gets the edge. He ain't never had that where you got to be careful if I overplay Lamar keeping the ball and you let Derrick Henry get out the window. That's a whole different dynamic than what they've had before. That's not Gus Edwards.
No, I mean, but I would say they've had strong running games,
Yeah,
top three running games. But I mean, Derek does provide the breakaway. He's the big hitter. He's the home run hitter. I don't think they've had that element going into this game before in the past. So, whether or not he becomes the equalizer, because I would also say that the Steelers are familiar with Derek as well, though. So,
oh yeah,
because they've had wars in the past with the Titans. So,
correct, correct.
they kind of know what to expect from Derek. They're designed to give Derek a rough night, a
Yeah,
rough afternoon.
right.
So, um, all right, you keep going, man. I just wanted to
No, man.
keep
We
saying
having
something.
discussions, man. This is a good hard game to call because they and see and to be honest, the Steelers got a different dimension. They can throw the ball down the field now. They ain't had that dimension before. Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky, they throwing it downfield, but they do might not come up with it.
I got some accountability, man, to take for myself. You know I'm not the biggest Russell Wilson advocate, but he's getting it done right now. So
Hey man, you ain't got to apologize for that, man. Look, let's just keep this thing a buck. Russ been goofy, okay?
yeah,
He been goofy,
yeah.
you know.
I don't know if that part has changed, but the
Yeah.
football product is better.
So yeah, you when you
So,
goofy, you get all the stuff that come with that.
yeah,
And some of these times he chooses. He know he goofy, and he decides I'm gonna be goofy anyway. I'm gonna put my uniform on, even though I'm not an active player, and I'm gonna do my twists on the sideline and read my plays off of my wristband. And dude, you're not playing, okay? He just goofy for the sake of being goofy. So yeah, you kind of get them arrows when you goofy. You do goofy stuff. So so yeah, you get that. No, you gotta apologize for that because I was right there. I was in the bag with you. Yeah, come on, that dude goofy, man. Sometimes the goofiness because they'll have your teammates giving you the side eye, like what is this doing now?
well, again, I don't know if any of that has changed. It's just
So
the football product was
yeah,
really where I'm like, yeah,
yeah, we thought
he
he may
kind
be
of
washed.
dead,
I
he
got
dead
you.
in the water, but he's revived it, and that was
Yeah,
I guess that was always on the table coming over
yeah,
to Pittsburgh and that Mike Tomlin culture. But
yeah,
for now, man, it's so far so good with him. And to your point, yeah, he's showing that he can still throw that deep ball,
yeah.
and he's got a young superstar level talent that can go get it. So
Right. And don't
um,
don't sleep on the fact that they was able to go finesse the Jets for Mike Williams, and he made his presence felt. Matter of fact, I think he caught the game winning touchdown.
he did,
If you want to know the truth about the thing,
he
he
did.
got downfield threats, and that's going to make it where the running game is going to be even better because they're not just sitting on Najee and Warren. Now you got to actually play those deep coverages now to keep those, because he can get those balls into those seams that, whereas these other guys weren't able to do that. So now you seeing Najee having 3 and 4 100-yard games that he wasn't having before. He's running into back of his own offensive lineman before because they just stacking the line of scrimmage against him. So that just opens up the offense now. So it's gonna be interesting, man. This is a tough game to call, man. I kind of want to pick Baltimore, but they playing at Pittsburgh. I guess I'm going with the Steelers, but man, I think this is going to come down to a field goal, and it's going to be, I think it's going to, because they're always tight games. They always are. No team ever runs away from the other one, because I think this might be the most evenly matched that they've been in a long time in terms of like, oh, both of these teams are good. They're going to probably win playoff games. They could, either of these teams could be possibly in the AFC Championship game. Could be possibly. They're good enough to do that. So I'm gonna take the Steelers, just for the fact that they playing at home. Because I think, according to my thing, I think the Ravens are favored by 3. I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Steelers, but I mean, I'm not gonna be upset if it go the other way, because I think they evenly matched. So I'm gonna take the Steelers just because they playing at home, and we'll see how it goes. What say you?
I say I'm going the other way because I got Action Jackson for the back-to-back MVP, and this is the type of signature win that'll help his case a lot, and it's not like the Ravens don't need the win; they certainly do. Um, it's a lot of reasons why the Steelers can, should, and could win this game, and you highlighted a lot of those good reasons. But I'm gonna just say Lamar's ascension as a passer this year.
Oh yeah,
That, there's a chance that Lamar is the current reigning MVP, and yet he's a
yeah.
better player this year.
He's having a better season than he had last year. That dude, don't he got like 25, 24, 25 touchdown passes already?
Well, on top of the fact that statistically he's better, he's a better quarterback. Period.
Yeah. I
And
think
that's
that's
the
easy to be
thing.
seen. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing where it's like, hold
Yes.
on, Lamar is taking a leap in player development. It's like, oof, that could be, if Lamar still has, as a 2-time MVP, if he still has areas where he can get extremely better.
Correct.
Yeah, we could be having probably a year, another MVP, and we'll see how the playoffs go away from, like the internet say, we could start a dialogue between him
Right.
and 15. But I'm gonna just say I really like the way Lamar's playing right now. So normally, that is the type of game you would say, you would look at it on the schedule and say, okay, we can see the Steelers. It's not a great matchup for him in the past. Give it to the Steelers, and I'd be on board with that. But I just kind of feel like Lamar's in a space right now where I think he's gonna go figure that out because he needs to. They need to win. He needs to figure out how to be successful against that division opponent
Right.
who we're gonna have to see again in his house later on. So I think they figure it out. But more so, I think Lamar. I checked their injury designations while you were talking.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys I was concerned about, in key, Kyle Hamilton, he's playing in this game, and
That's huge.
yeah,
That
that's
is huge.
a
Kyle
good.
Hamilton might be the best safety in the NFL. I don't think that's hyperbole either.
I wouldn't argue against it. So having him good to go, Isaiah Likely good to go, Lamar himself good to go is just they're healthy, and I think they get it done. But I do think it's a tight game. I think that spread is about accurate.
Yeah.
It's like a field goal difference. It come down to the wire.
And I
I
think it's
know
what's down to.
I'm pretty good at calling those weeks when I'm like, see, everybody don't understand Baltimore about to whip this team. I think I'm pretty good at calling those, but I don't think this is one of those So it's a close
I think.
game.
I'm sorry.
No
I
good.
think we'd be remiss, or we'd be doing negligent in our coverage here if we didn't mention the fact. I know we gave the Steelers their little for the going out and getting Mike Williams. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that the Ravens went out and got Deontay Johnson to add to their receiver core.
I mean,
I know you thought it was better, but I'm just saying that's a weapon that he did not have before. So now,
no, I just think I would like to see them use him because 2 weeks
well,
in, they're not using him.
again.
This is the Deontay Johnson Bowl, technically. So
that dude want to make a statement here. He's like, hey, because
nice.
it's an unwritten rule that when a guy goes to a new place and you're playing that old team, those guys go to, hey man, hey, we got you this week, man. We got you this week.
I hope that's the case because he was on my mind to bring up, but it's just 2 weeks in they haven't used him.
Right.
And he's turned out to be a luxury addition,
Right.
So it's kind of like he actually could have been better served really helping some other teams. But
the team that will use him.
Yeah.
Because when we talked about it, now one of our call-ins, we were talking, you go to Baltimore, you're gonna have to block too. That's part of the thing. You gotta be a tough guy to play for them. You can't just be a prima donna receiver. You gotta block. You gotta be able to. And so he, maybe he'll get some, because
I wouldn't say playing in Pittsburgh he wasn't used to that, but it's just
right. True.
It's just also, there's a thing about adding talent and increasing competitive juices and fire. So it's no coincidence these past 2 weeks with the addition of Deontay Johnson, Zay Flowers has it's caught fire. So
of course.
it's something too, bringing in a guy to light a fire under another guy.
Yeah. You bring somebody else in the room that you are currently in, like, I guess that means I gotta I gotta tighten up. I gotta tighten up. So Zay Flowers. So I mean, Rashad Bateman is starting to play better. I saw him have some good game, a good game. Who was that they were playing? Who was that they were playing? I'm like, dang, Bateman is just getting. I'm like, dang, I ain't never seen him. So, hey man, But anyway, so we both got. So I'm gonna have to do this right here.
Okay.
All right. Well,
we clashing. First time.
We clashing. First, we had a fight last night that really wasn't a fight. Yeah. Kind of a bunch of grabbing and holding and whatnot. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Shout out to the legend, Iron Mike, man.
Yeah. Shoot, I said, dude, everybody understand that dude the same age as me. Me and Mike Tyson are literally the same age. We're like months apart. We're the same age. And I'm like, that dude out there fighting a dude that's younger than his kids.
Yeah. Hey man, get your money, Mike, for sure.
All right, man. Second game. So, like I said, some of these other games are like not as good, but that Ravens Steelers game, man, that's gonna be probably that could have been the Sunday night game if you ask me. That could have been flipped because the Sunday night game is a little,
Sunday night Action Jackson. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, that's been the game to have.
Steelers, you better off playing him in the day. You don't want to see him for no Sunday night game.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
All right. Our second game, we're gonna talk about this one is I think it's gonna be I think maybe one of these teams may be playing for their season. The other team is kind of like, we kind of they won last week, but it seemed like they made a loss because they kind of felt like they lost, but they won. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling up to Detroit to play the Detroit Lions. Detroit is favored by 14. I mean, this ain't like Alabama versus Mercer here. Another NFL team be favored over another NFL team by 14? Yeah, that's probably about right. Look, man, Detroit probably should have lost last week on Sunday night. Another game that was kind of weird because, Jared Goff threw 5 picks. That's a dude that, for a lot of games, didn't throw 5 incompletions. He threw 5 picks? 5? 5,
Yeah.
and they still found a way to win. They figured out how to, and shout out to uh D'Amico Ryans, that defensive staff that was like they was playing some good pass coverage, and they was really shutting down the run. And I guess Ben Johnson had to go back to his, like, let's go to the ninth page on our run sheet to figure out some things that worked in the fourth quarter to get Jameer and David Montgomery open, where they was more than 2-yard gains earlier in the game. End up being some nice games. And Jared Goff made a couple of good throws in the fourth quarter. And they was able to, walk off with a field goal to win the game, which the game they really kind of, I don't want to say didn't deserve to win, but if you win it, you win it. And like I said, Detroit, I think to me is probably the most talented team in the NFL, top to bottom. They offense is probably the most unstoppable offense in the league, probably. And won, but they kind of, and so I think they're gonna say, "Oh, okay, we played our D- game and won last week. We're gonna take all that out on the Jacksonville Jaguars." And so on the other side, you got the Jaguars. Uh, Trevor Lawrence is not playing. I can go to my injury report, and maybe some other uh, guys. You got Mac Jones, I think, that's gonna be playing. Um, you know, Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is out. Let's see, the Lions. Lions. I think Sam Laporta is out. That's sort of major. Not major, but it's good information to know. I still got the Lions by. I don't know. I can't say they're gonna beat them by 2 touchdowns, but they're gonna win convincingly. Okay, I think they win convincingly. That's what I say.
Yeah. Mac Jones is the guy. The Jaguars will be chicken soup for the Lions this week as they bounce back from to your point. It's a game you probably should have lost, but you won. That's what good
Yeah.
teams do. Win a game that you should have lost. That's what a good
Right.
team does. So the Lions are back home. Jaguars are limping into this game without the head of the snake. And I think that, as far as that spread you mentioned, I think the Lions will cover that. The Lions get Jameson Williams back themselves.
Yeah.
So, boom, boom, boom. It's going to be pretty much robotic to me. And what happens, run, 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 boom, 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 pop play, pop play. And before you know it, they got 35 points on the board. And
Dang. Dang.
games, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think,
Bip, bam, boom. They got 35.
yeah, it'll be that. I think
Wow.
some people will be optimistic based on that weird game they had with the Vikings last week that, well, maybe we can keep this one close.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. But,
Yeah.
good luck to you, Jaguars. Good luck
Good
to you.
luck to that, man. Good luck with Mac Jones throwing to, I don't even know who he's throwing to. Good
Oh
luck.
well, as far as what he's throwing to, I mean, if he can get it done, I mean, you got Evan Ingram, you got Brian Thomas Jr., you got Travis Etienne. There's playmakers on that team, but
Travis Etienne playing?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
there was a couple of weeks there where he was just phased out of the offense. Strangely,
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. I'm like, oh, they still they gave him a jersey to play this week?
yeah. I don't know what that was about. Maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
about
I don't know either.
trades or whatever. But now that we passed that, I think he probably figures into their game plan more now for the rest of the year. And I mean, they have talented guys on that team still on both sides. It's just
Yeah,
a matter of what you're getting, I guess. I just think they're about to run into a juggernaut
yeah.
tomorrow, which,
Probably a pissed off juggernaut too.
yeah, I mean, plenty of teams have. They won't be the first, so.
Right into a pissed off juggernaut. I think I can say this without a whole lot of pushback. I kind of think that the Jaguars might be the most disappointing team this year for me in terms of like what I thought they would be in terms of the talent I thought that
You
team
sure?
had.
I got another team in mind that
Uh,
you thought a lot about, prior to the season starting. You was real
with the
high.
Dolphins.
No, not quite.
Oh, okay.
It's a team in the Carolinas.
Look, man. Hey, look, man.
Uh,
I just thought they might win 4, 5, 6 games, man. Nobody thought they was going no daggone playoffs. I just thought that, I didn't think they'd be the worst team in the league. That's all I thought. I was like, hey,
well, the funny part to what I'm saying is, even in the jokes I've been making, may not be far off. They might win five. Don't they got three already?
they got 3.
Yeah.
They beat the Raiders. They beat somebody. I know they beat the Giants last week.
They just beat the Saints. They beat the Saints, right?
Yeah, he got old boy fired. Got old boy fired. Got him. The old boy ran up out of his. Oh no, you can't lose to the Saints. Even though you lost 6 in a row, you can't lose to the Panthers. And so yeah, they got 3 wins. So yeah. That is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. I ain't think about that. That's good. That's a good pull, man. I didn't even conceptualize that,
Yeah, man.
but getting back to what I was saying, I think when you look at the talent that's on that team, if Trevor Lawrence isn't hurt, you look at the receiving core. Nobody knew Tank Bigsby was going to be as good as he is, and you got basically a 2-back system that really could be really the envy of what you would want to have as a 2-back system: a big bruising back and a quick shifty back. That's
Yeah,
what you want.
right.
And then they got dudes on defense, but they not playing any defense. Trayvon Walker is a dude that everybody's like, yeah, he's gonna be the next dude. They just paid that dude, paid him. Josh Allen. They got some dudes that can rush the passer. They got some corners. Lua Khan still plays for them. They got some players, but they ain't put it all together. So to me, that's one of the most disappointing, if not the most disappointing team I've seen this year in terms of talent. And then marry that with what the result of what their season has become. And everybody's like, Doug Peterson's getting fired. Yeah. When you pay a quarterback $55 million, and you got this much talent, and you win what they won 2 games. Yeah, man. Coach better put his house up for sale. He's not coming back next year.
Well,
It's
they're
not.
one of those teams that you know they have so much talent on both sides of the ball. If you do get it right, then you really get it right. They're one of those teams. So
Yeah,
they're the type of team that, talent wise, I mean, hypothetically, if they were to continue to lose out, and you throw a Travis Hunter on a team with that much talent, conceivably you could see them having a worse to first type of year next year, because they are right full of good players. So we'll see. But that's the type of team that, if they're picking at one and adding an elite level college prospect, I mean, on paper they could be a team that may disappoint you again next year, because you look at them on paper next year, like,
you, you,
why can't
you,
they win the division? They got all this talent.
I hate to interrupt you. As you say that, you got a good team, and you add a Travis Hunter. As you were saying that, Travis Hunter just made a ridiculous catch down the sideline on a 4th down play. That I'm like, he just said it. It's like you talked it up. I'm watching the game behind you right now. And I'm like, goodness, he caught that. I'm like,
So that's the thing.
yeah,
As you make the point, I can't wait to get into that game after our pick'ems, and
yeah,
if you're able to land a guy like that and add to what they already have, I mean, you can get the other stuff right,
yeah.
organizational wise, yeah. But as far as with the product tomorrow,
Freaking college, man. In my opinion, best player in college.
yeah,
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about mine. But But anyway, man, you're correct. You're correct, man. They got a lot of pieces. They put the right thing. You probably have to get the right coach, whatever. And then you got that. You obviously you're going to get a top draft pick, top 10, 12, 10, 5, 4 draft pick. You know, plug in, and you see what happens, whatever. But enough of that game, man. Let's get on. That's because there's no way. And you know what? I'm thinking they're coming back. They're gonna win against the Lions, who I might think is probably the best team in the NFL right now. If you look at it, maybe not on record, but in terms of like what they have on the field, with the talent they possess. Okay, we both got the Lions. Okay, now you got another. Got the Rams at the Patriots. Now it's a weird game because you got a West Coast team coming to an East Coast team at noon. That's always kind of
Who
weird,
also played Monday?
huh?
Who also just
Who
played on
just
Monday?
played Monday? Correct. Yeah, that's right. That's kind of a quote unquote short week, and you got to go to there. But it ought to be a game where you've been like, you ought to be like, man, we just let one get away because that was a game they needed to win to kind of keep themselves in playoff contention because they dropped a few games early. They had some massive injuries all along the front offensive line. Both of their receivers been out. They kind of been doing it. They got the wins they have had really have been done with like smoke and mirrors. McVay kind of drawing up plays in the dirt, doing stuff, and they kind of come up with a win here and a win there, whatever, and they're starting to get their guys back. No Boom is back, and Nakua and Cooper Cup are both back, and Kyron Williams is back, and I think it was a guy or two on defense they had back, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then they at home with the Dolphins, and they don't even score a touchdown. It's just like what that was one of that games kind of had my like, because I have in my mind, oh, that might be one of the most exciting games we'll watch.
Me too.
Two, outstanding offensive teams with weapons all over the place. You know, running game with with speed, A-Chain, Kyron Williams. Wide receiver is ridiculous with Waddle and Hill and Nakua and Cup, and let's go. Let's go. Okay. So I'm thinking they're gonna get some get back this week and they go to the Patriots if they can overcome the jet lag and the other stuff and whatever comes with a West Coast team, East Coast at 12, playing a team really not that good, but they got a lot of try on them and the Patriots. I think the Rams win a close game because I think the Patriots, you might say, they're not good, but they play hard every game. You know, Gerard Bale has those boys playing hard every week. And so they're gonna play. They're not gonna They're not gonna lay down for the Rams. I promise you that. Playing at Foxborough too, Rams are favored by 4.5. I don't think they cover. I think they win by field goal. What say you?
Uh, that's the trendy thing right now because of the circumstances. To say that it's going to be a close one, it's a trap game for the Rams, and in many ways, I guess I would agree because I do think the challenges for them. I would think more so had this if this game was projected to be a little sloppy in terms of the weather conditions. I don't think that it is, or at least I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's close because I think Drake May is showing that he can be exciting at least. He's a young prospect, ripe with potential. So I'm sure Patriots fans are super excited about him because he's showing enough pop to his style of play that gives them promise going forward. So do I think that makes that Patriots defense with sneaky has some talented players over there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I think that makes them a little more amped up and fired up to play from week to week with Drake May back there? Yes.
Yeah.
So they're at home. Circumstances suggest this could go the wrong way for the Rams, but it's a game they have to have. So I just think it's going to be an ugly game, and
Yeah.
I think
I see that.
they're gonna win it.
I see
I
that.
think they're gonna win it in a very ugly fashion, and I know many people it's trendy now, and many people are saying it, and rightfully so. But Christian Gonzalez is elite, man. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. One of the best young
he
corners in the game, man. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he'll be taking somebody out the equation. So
Right, right, right.
um, yeah, I could see the Rams maybe struggling to the same way they struggle Monday, struggling to finish drives
Yeah, yeah.
because
That
they're
was the
unable.
problem Monday night.
Yeah.
You're correct. You're correct in that
So
assessment.
even
Correct.
if they're able to push the ball a little bit, run the ball with Kyrie for sure, I think they're going to struggle with finishing the task and actually getting into the end zone, especially if if Christian Gonzalez is over there locked in on Cooper Cup. Probably wouldn't throw it that way because he's starting to develop that type of reputation. Even
Yeah.
Jack Jones, their second corner, is pretty good too, man. So
Yeah.
I think this is like one of those 1916 type of games. There's a whole bunch of field goals. It's
Yeah.
just you know, it's just kind of it's a rocky game. If you're a fan of those teams, then you're locked in. But it's not really like one of those Sunday ticket games for me
I know.
personally. So
No.
I think it's one of
I'm
those.
just reading the box score on this one, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A
But
box score game right here, man.
yeah, the Rams at the end of the day are the team that's playing for something in this
Yeah.
scenario. So they
Yeah.
need it. So I think they figure it out. They're definitely talented enough to do that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it won't be fashion. It won't be in fashion.
No.
So
The goal of what you said, and you were correct on that. I think the Rams win because I think they have to win this
oh
game if they're having any inclinations of having any postseason invitations or anything like that. And I think the Patriots know that they are not. This isn't their year to be, and I think they know their assignment. If you understand what I'm saying. But Mayo has those guys playing hard. They play hard every week, and they play smart every week. Um, and I think they maybe one or two players away, and like I say, depending on what kind of draft they did, hey, wouldn't like you said, Christian Gonzalez and Jack Jones, excuse me.
yeah,
Isn't that the kid from South Carolina?
I'm not sure where he's from. I can look
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I saw him on a reel on something that and I was like, yeah. He putting some stuff together, man, and and it's almost like they're playing the way Belichick had them playing. Smart. Don't turn the ball over excessively. Don't beat yourself. Play fundamentally sound. Don't just and make a team beat you. Don't hand them the game and stuff. And so if the Rams go in there and they turn the ball over 2, 3 times, they could be had. You know, they could get got. So
USC, by the way, the other USC. But yeah,
yeah, he was South Carolina, right? I was right. No, the other USC. He went to
Southern California.
Southern California. Okay, okay. Hey man, I had to write initials.
Yeah,
Both got the
yeah.
Rams and a squeaker, but in a game you might not want to turn to. So yeah, let's watch the box score on that one. All right, watch the box score and see what the results are. Same thing for this next game, but you may see different. You got the Cleveland Browns traveling to New Orleans to play the New Orleans Saints. Both teams kind of probably had early in the season probably had envisions on maybe make have postseason like visions in their head, but that has turned to coal now in their stocking. Now, I don't want to give no Christmas reference, but that's kind of what it has turned to. The Saints have fired their coach. Browns have their starting quarterback to go down with an Achilles. It's kind of come unravel for both teams. They kind of came into the season with promise and kind of, not so much playing at New Orleans. But for some reason, the Browns are favored by a point.
I agree with that.
I don't know. I don't know about that one. Uh, what are the Browns? What is their record, man? What is their record? They 2-7, something like that. I think they beat the Jaguars and they beat somebody else. They beat somebody. Was it Cincinnati? No, it wasn't Cincinnati. They beat somebody. I think they got 2 wins. Let me just look it up.
Well, I'll
Um,
say this, man. I agree with the Vegas spread and all of that. End of the day, man, Derek Carr is operating without Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, both gone, done,
oh,
presumably for the season. And
Jamal Williams too is out.
yeah, I mean, I actually like the Browns in this one personally. It's the Jameis Winston Bowl.
Yeah, kind of.
I think the Browns, talent wise, may even have the edge here from
Browns
top to
have no significant injuries either. No.
they're predominantly healthy. They probably got the talent edge from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Uh, I think Jameis honestly is going to play quarterback better than Derek Carr tomorrow.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I think Jameis will be motivated to make enough plays. I mean, it won't. I don't think it'll be a shootout or anything.
Oh no, I don't see that at all.
If
I don't see that at all.
we looking for like a 23-20 type of outcome, I think the Browns will get it done, man.
Good deal. Good deal. I was all primed to go against you on that one, and I saw the injury report. Now you mentioned Chris Olave, which I didn't know he was out for the season. I know he'd had a couple of concussions, 2 or 3, and I know
Well,
you kind of. I
I
know
know.
they really. You got to be real careful with those.
Yeah, Shaheed is already announced to be out for the year. He won't come back,
Is
but
Shaheed out for the season?
yeah. But as far as Olave, I mean, that's like his second concussion for the year, so I would imagine he's going to get
Yeah,
shut down.
yeah. You got to be careful with those, man. You
Yeah,
can't you can't play around with that stuff at all.
yeah.
Not at all. So I'm inclined to agree with you on that. I'm gonna go with the Browns. I kind of came into to the show today thinking I'm going Saints with that because they're playing at home. They're coming off a win. They got an unexpected win over the Falcons last week, but I'm like,
Round
dude,
rivalry, man, rivalry. Throw the records out.
that's true. I get that. I get that. I get that. Um, but I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with the Browns. You kind of convinced me on that, and I saw the injury report. He really ain't working with a whole Paul Williams. I guess you're gonna go. You basically going with Alvin Kamara as basically your maybe your only weapon against a
Well, I
good defense.
mean, you'll see a lot of Taysom Hill, and the way they sort of piecemeal their thing together. Last week randomly Valdez Scantling caught a couple touchdowns, made some plays. I just think they're running into a defense that can handle all that.
Yeah.
You got Miles Garrett off the edge.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Your,
Yeah.
your
And he's a
corner tandem is still
problem.
one of the best corner tandems in the league. So I just think they'll be able to sort of limit the effectiveness of what the Saints can do. And if it just comes down to a touchdown or a field goal, I like the Browns' chances. Um, I
Browns
think,
are two. Browns are 2-7. The Saints are 3-7.
yeah, I think they're pretty much the same level of team.
Yeah.
They're two teams that aren't really headed anywhere. So in that case, I'll go. Because I would imagine the Browns are considered like the underdog or whatever as far as the lines and all of that.
Browns
But
are favored actually
they are okay. Well, then
by
they
one. By one.
well they see what I see. And
They see what you see. They look at their injury report too. Like I said, Browns don't have any significant injuries. Michael Hall's one of the defensive tackles is out, but like I said, you look at the Saints. Jamal Williams is out, and then you look at some of the injuries that are like Kool Aid McKinstry is like questionable. And they already lost Marshawn Lattimore, so what are you throwing out there, right? Um, and
well, they did trade Marshawn, but they did that for a reason. Because
they got a Hall for him.
Well, they also got
Considered, all things considered. They got like 5 picks for him.
quiet as kept, man. They're in good shape at corner actually. Between
Yeah.
Alontae Taylor,
Yeah,
uh,
that's that dude. Yeah, I know they had another young dude. Yeah, that's
they
what
got
made it where they could
Kool-Aid,
do
they
that.
got Alontae, and they got I forget his name, but man, I really wish I could remember his name. They got another corner that's really good too. So they in good shape at corner, man. I mean, I
Yeah,
would imagine they drafted Kool-Aid under the impression that they were going to move on from Marshawn at some
Marshawn at
point.
some
So,
point. Right. It's kind of way the thing. That's where the factory works, man. Get young and cheaper. If he's 75% is good, we go with that one. Move him on. Let somebody else pay him $20 million. That's kind of way that thing works, man. That's in cap hell as the Saints were. You kind of got to make them kind of moves. You kind of got to do that. So they were the worst team in terms of cap. They were kind of like, man, we like $90 million in this whatever. We how do we get out of this?
yeah.
So that's how you do that. So yeah, we both got the Browns. Let's move on. Uh, let's see here. Our next game here. Yeah, this one's gonna be an interesting game here, and I know you got some. I know you'll have some thoughts about this one. You got the Indianapolis Colts traveling up to MetLife Stadium to play the New York Jets. The Jets are favored by 4. The Colts, but there's some interesting things here because the Colts. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're gonna start Joe Flacco the rest of the season, either all rest of the season or for what 2 games, one
Record scratch.
either or, whichever one is you want to pick, whichever door you want to pick here. Rest of the season or 2 games. What are we doing here? Uh, so they go back to Richardson for this, maybe for the rest of the season or whatever. For maybe, or it could just be for this game. Who knows, right? So, and then you got the Jets coming off of a. I thought that would have been a game I would have missed last week because I would have picked them against the Cardinals because I thought they were putting something together that went over the Texans on the previous Thursday night, and I'm like, okay, they putting it together. Aaron got his guys. They had some time to put together. With Devontae Adams and what's the other kid's name from Ohio State? What's his name?
Oh, you talking about Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson, yeah, Garrett Wilson. I mean, yeah, and yeah, they just needed time to put it together, this kind of stuff. And then you go down there and you lay a freaking egg against the Cardinals. I mean, it was 31-6. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, what? So this game, I don't really know because I don't know what I'm gonna get from the Jets because it's like, are they gonna be mad? Like, damn, we went down there to Arizona and got our handed to us by a team that really we probably are better than, but maybe they're not. And then you got a Colts team, which they can't figure out what they're doing to quarterback. They kind of, I guess ownership wants to do this, and hey, you want to play the young guy, and young guy not getting it done. Young guys turning it over a bunch. Young guys throwing 30% completion percentage in some games. All of it, not his fault. It's you knew when you drafted him, it was going to take some time to put it together. You knew that. He had some good raw ability with his size, his arm strength, his mobility, his speed. And you knew you could, I got raw materials to work with here. And you knew it was going to take time. So to pull the plug on him, it's like, so you would be saying, oh, okay, so what? He going to be ready by year 3? Because he wouldn't be seeing the film until year 3. So now he's back in the lineup. So I don't know where to go with this one.
Um, I'm not big on this game. I don't think there's any more reasons to be optimistic about the Jets at this point. For those who were interested in them, like myself, their season's pretty much wrapped. I actually think the Colts not only would keep this close as far as that 4-point spread is
You think
concerned.
they might win it?
think they might win this game, man. Because regardless of the perceived talent of the Jets, what's clear to me is that they're just. I mean, it starts with the quarterback, but they're just not. They're not sold on trying to really make the push that they would need to have a relevant season. Because at this point, the push is you got to win every game on your schedule, and I just don't think they have the collective confidence, consciousness, desire to say, let's do something historical here, rip off seven straight, or I don't see that in them. I don't see that in their efforts. And that last week was kind of like what should have been like the proverbial nail in the coffin. Like, okay, they're just not.
They don't want
Yeah,
it.
as a group, as a collective, they don't want it. The quarterback, I don't know if it's a matter of him not wanting it or just not feeling up to doing what it would take because he just may not have it. He just may not have it at this point in his career to rally the troops and fire himself up. It just may not be him at this point, man.
Yeah.
So, talent wise, I mean, yeah, they have talent. We all know that, but the talent alone isn't going to win them this game tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I just think that's about to be a real hard to watch, ugly game because
Preparation, all that stuff.
Anthony Richardson has his own struggles, but it's good that he was reinserted because he needs to play through it and learn. So
Yeah.
I think I could see him making several mistakes tomorrow that he needs to learn from, but then it becomes like, will the Jets even take advantage of those turnovers? You don't know. So um, I'm not high on this game. Really don't know who's going to win. But for me right now, Uh, I would just go Indianapolis just because I don't know what to make of the Jets no more, man. So
Right. Right.
I think when the team starts reeling the way that they're reeling, and everything is showing you, the signs that you need to see. It's just the old adage. They're showing us who we are, who they are, man, and we gotta believe it. So
What they say when somebody tells you who they are,
believe
believe
it,
them
yeah, for sure.
for sure. For
I
sure.
think
For
that's
sure.
where I'm at with the Jets, man.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna be the contrarian on this. I think I'm gonna ring my bell here. Uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna ring the bell. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ring the bell on that one. I think, and I'm not for anything. I just think the Jets, if they decide they want to play, line up and just beat them. And I think the Jets win. Not that I think they're any, I got this great confidence. They're gonna go in there and win 5, 6 straight. No, I just think they may win this game, and we'll see where it goes from there. So we're gonna split on that one. I'm going Jets, you going Colts, and we just kind of see where that goes. Like I said, Jets are favored by 4. Basically a toss up because you get 3 points for being at home. So
Yeah, they Vegas spreads have been real strange the past few weeks,
mm-hmm.
lining up with the product on the field. So this may be the last game they got a favorable
Yeah.
line like that.
All right, next game. This one's of some importance to you, but I know you got other ideas about how this thing's going to go. And of course, hey, I know that smile on
Oh
your face. You know
yeah.
where I'm going. Uh, you got the Minnesota Vikings traveling up to Nashville to play the Tennessee
Mhm.
Titans. Minnesota Vikings at the Tennessee Titans. Vikings coming off that weird 12-7 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Titans coming off. It was like what it was like a 31-10 loss to the Chargers or something like that. 13. I may have had the numbers wrong here.
I think they got a late touchdown to it was like 27-17 what the tally was at the end.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. Something like that. I did have it right here on my. Yeah, it was. 27-17. That is correct. I'm looking at it right now. Look, man, Titans are. and I know they're in draft mode, just like my Cowboys. They're in draft mode. We're trying to look for draft positioning. They unloaded DeAndre Hopkins. They unloaded Jamal Adams. They unloaded Diggs, Quandre Diggs. They're trying to, you know, we're trying to see what's going on with this team. So and the Vikings, like I said, they got I don't know about championship aspirations, but I know they got good. I know they got playoff aspirations and stuff. So they know the assignment. They're coming up there to win the game. You know, um, Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson. They're all playing. I know that. No, I know some of the stuff with not Justin Jefferson, but with Sam Darnold starting to come back to earth a little bit. He's had a few turnovers here and there. Vikings, no real significant injuries other than one of their linebackers. Let's see who Titans don't have any major injuries other than with L'Jarius Sneed. Probably he's their best corner. He's not going to play. Doesn't really matter. I think the Vikings come in there and they whoop the Titans, much to my chagrin because I got the Titans. Geographically is the closest team to me. I can just ride a nice car ride right up the road and go to one of their games if I'd like and whatever. So I kind of pull for them or whatever. So, but they're not having the season that they would like right now. I think they're 2-7 also, something like that. You know better than me.
Yeah, man, they're in the Travis Hunter sweepstakes. So, um, okay. Yeah. In the Travis Hunter, Shador, Cam Ward sweepstakes, all of that.
All that.
Yeah, man. I mean, some people may not enjoy a losing season like this, but
Yeah,
for me,
they are 2-7. They fooled around and beat the Patriots. And I know folks was pissed off about that. Fooled around and beat the Patriots 2 weeks ago, correct?
yeah, I'm folks.
Yeah.
I'm
Folks is
folks.
mad, throwing stuff on the field after a win, throwing cups and beer bottles on the field after a win. But that may have been at Foxborough. I'm not sure. But anyway, I know they lost that game and they're 2-7, and the Vikings are 7-2. So they mirror opposites. I got the Vikings. I don't even know why we need to go into any detail on that one. That I got the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't go into detail. Shout out
uh,
to
okay. Next game. Another game that's a team that's sort of got playoff implications, and another one is like they're looking for they're in the Travis Hunter, Shador Sanders, Cam Ward sweepstakes. Also, you got uh, the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Miami to play the Dolphins. The line is Miami by 7. I think Raiders are coming off of a bye, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Dolphins coming off that Monday night win over the Rams. I think it was 23-15. But I think the Raiders, I don't know who they're playing at quarterback. Are they playing O'Connor? Are they playing what's the kid's name with the mustache? What is his name? Are they playing him? What are they? Who are they playing? It don't really matter. I know they're not going to win the game. I know the
Look
Rams.
like
I
it's
know
gonna be Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew. Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking about. I couldn't think of his name. Gardner Minshew. Is that who's starting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gives them a fighting chance. They got a shot in their tail, as Red Fox said. He got a shot all right in his tail. I got the Dolphins. I just think they're starting to play better. I don't know if that's going to result in them getting to the playoffs. I think they got too many losses. I think they got 6 losses. They almost have to run the table with as stacked as the AFC is. I think they have to run the table. What are they, 3-6 or something like that?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Tua's playing good if he can stay upright, and that freaking foot first hook slide is the way to go. To stop head first sliding. You know, I saw that a lot last week, dude. You ain't learned your lesson yet. Foot, your hook slide, man. Hook slide. Okay. That's we're gonna have to fit you with one of them Guardian helmets. So and so you got that, and then you got the like I said, the Raiders. They kind of just playing. So I got the Dolphins. I think they have too much firepower. I think they know they can't let go of the rope anymore the rest of this season if they got any hopes of entertaining any wild card hopes or anything like that. They know they got to win this game, and the Raiders are food right now. So go get your food, go eat. So I got the Dolphins.
I actually think the Dolphins. I'll give them the win because that 7 point spread is. I think the Raiders are going to keep this way closer than that.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
for sure. I think the Raiders are the team to pull off, you know, strange outcomes. They did it to Lamar earlier in the year, and
Yeah.
this is a spot I could see it happening again if the Raiders were actually trying to win. I don't think they're trying to win. I think they have other plans in mind. They
Yeah.
probably give something to do with that game you watching behind you. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they got other ambitions, man, long term ambitions. So I wouldn't necessarily pick them to win this game, but I definitely think they're going to go out there and make it close enough that they may slip up and just win it. But it's the NFL, so that's on the table for me. But I will just say, I think it's one of those games that Dolphins sneak out of there by a field goal just because the Raiders really don't want it that much, but they want it enough to make it close. So
Okay.
as far as the players on the field, Christian Wilkins was once a Dolphin, he's now a Raider. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
motivation there.
Of course.
Mm,
Of
Max
course.
Crosby is still a disruptor for a
Yeah.
quarterback that, as we know, is one wrong
Yeah.
movement from
Yeah.
totally changing the outcome of that team.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Mad Max coming off the edge at
Scary
two,
sight, man. Scary
scary
sight.
sight for everybody in Miami. So um,
Okay.
I'm with you with Miami, but it's just I definitely don't think they're gonna scrape the plate with the Raiders this week.
No, I didn't think they was gonna beat them by no 5 touchdowns, nothing like that. But 7 is a little high for a point spread. That's correct. I will kind of add in, that there is this thing where these teams that go to Miami often don't play as well as they're supposed to because Miami is Miami, man. Of course,
I get that.
that's
I always
Vegas. That's Vegas though, so it's like they kind of
yeah
got the same thing. So
yeah
they
yeah.
not. But any other team, they going to Miami, man, they get lost in the sauce some kind of way, man. But like Vegas is kind of used to that. They got a city that's the same thing. You go to Vegas and you kind of get lost. Like, hey, where dude at? Like, oh, what he supposed to? He missed curfew. Where the heck was he at? You get all that crap going on with that. So, um, but yeah, we both got the Dolphins in that game. It might be interesting, man. The Raiders always make a game interesting because they're just wacky like that. They're the wacky Raiders. That's your side team. That's your side hustle team.
Well, yeah, when they actually try to win, for sure,
Yeah,
I'm on board with the Raiders.
yeah, yeah. There it is. There it is. All right, now we got one more 12 o'clock game. This one's going to be interesting. Now, about 3 weeks ago, I thought this one might have been an interesting game, but it has deteriorated to like, and it's a rob, but I don't know. This one might be interesting though by the time it gets played because I think people that might be on the shopping block if this season continues to spiral like it is. You got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears coming off of 2 consecutive losses. The Bears like 3 weeks ago was sitting on the precipice of being 5-2. They were a knockaway, Hail Mary away from being 5-2. And then they lose that game and they go down to Arizona and get clock clean and lose that game. And then they lose last week to the Patriots. Yikes. Team that really not even trying to win. And they, you know, so that ended up getting Shane Waldron fired, who's the offensive coordinator. So they're moving up Thomas Brown. I've kind of some familiarity with Thomas Brown. He kind of was with Carolina. He was one of those dudes. A lot of people had a lot of promise for his. He comes from the McVay Shanahan tree. He was with Carolina last year doing some stuff with them, but he wasn't. I don't think he was the offensive coordinator. I don't know what capacity he was in, but he was with the Bears this year. But a lot of people think he's like the next guy that can kind of do some things. So he'll get his hands on Caleb Williams. We'll see how that looks. Packers are a good team, man. I'm trying to see, were they on a bye last week, or did they? Because I know the last time I saw them, they lost to the Lions. They
They
kind of,
are coming off a bye.
huh?
I think they are coming off a bye.
Coming off a bye. And the worst thing you want to be is to be playing a team coming off a disappointing loss where they kind of got, if you can kind of say the Lions kind of manhandled them, kind of sort of, even though the statistics didn't say so. If you watch the game, they got dominated. The statistical battle says that they beat the Lions, but the scoreboard and the game, if you watched it, didn't say the same thing. They didn't measure up. You had to watch the game because I think they had like 400 yards of offense to they're like 270. But if you saw the game, Detroit dominated the game. So they coming off that game and they had a week to kind of stew on it, kind of lick their wounds, get back to the drawing board and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Playing a team that they've kind of owned for the past like decade or so. I think the Bears may have won one game or two games over the past like decade or so against them. That's going all the way back to Aaron Rodgers. I think the Bears keep this one close because I think they kind of realize this thing might be slipping away from them because they're under 500 now. Let me see. Any injuries? Packers to me, the Packers are just a better team. I gotta see who's playing and who ain't. I did have it pulled. Yeah, here we go. Montez Sweat is questionable for the Bears. For the Packers, I didn't know they even had Marshawn Lord. I didn't know they drafted him. That's a good back, man. Come out of USC. I remember him. Zaire Alexander is questionable. That's interesting. That's who you probably match up against, either Roma Doomsday or Moore. I got the Packers, man, but I think the Bears make it close. I think because when a coach is sort of coaching for his job, maybe they kind of, they play a little tighter to the vest. They kind of maybe they get Caleb Williams to stop thinking he's Patrick Mahomes on every play and just play football. Every play's not got to be an event. Run the play, throw the pass, throw it away. It's not open. You ain't got to run 40 yards to throw a pass. I think if you get back to the fundamentals, I think this team's good enough to beat some teams. But if they get caught up in the whatever, I got the Packers winning, but I think the Bears keep it close because they're playing at home. But I think the Packers win the game ultimately.
The Packers are definitely winning this game. Only reason I don't pick a quote unquote blowout or whatever is just for the respect of the Bears defense. The fact of the matter is Caleb's not playing up to par. Mm-hmm. And that Packers secondary, whether Jaire's there or not, has shown all year that
Xavier McKinney.
They can step up and make big plays. And Caleb right now is a guy that's going to give you the opportunity to do just that. So,
you trying to say he turnover prone? Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't know if that's what that was code for, but okay.
I think you know, I think these matchups, these divisional matchups for him will look different and better next year. Different coach, different style, different fundamentals, more experience, everything. But as far as where he's at right now, as it pertains to what he's doing lately, the Packers coming off a bye is just not a good recipe for the offensive dysfunction they have right now. So I won't. I really don't pick many blowouts because the NFL is you never know type of thing. So
Yeah.
does it become a close game? Maybe, but I think if the Packers can get a couple touchdowns up, for one, the game's done by then. But also it could lead to breaking the dam and maybe they run it up a little more than expected. But the Bears can't win this game right now, man. It's just not on the table for them right now. So
Yeah. Okay. You don't think the Bears keep it close?
I think the Bears defense
Keeps
is,
it close.
is the best hope
For
for
them to
keeping
keep
it
it close.
close. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All righty then. We both got the Packers winning that. No bells on this one. We both on agreement with them, and I think that concludes our 12 o'clock slot for games, and we go to the 3:05 games. It's usually two 3:05 games, and they go to 3:25. You got two 3:05 games. I got 1 star on this game because I think this game could potentially be a good game because you got two up and coming kind of teams. I think two well coached teams that I think got playoff implications going. You got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Denver to Mile High Stadium. I don't know if that's what they call it now. I'm sure it's got a naming right to some Fortune 500 corporation or whatever to play the Denver Broncos. So this is interesting. The Falcons coming off a loss. They lost, I think, like 30-27 to the Saints last week. And,
Yeah.
I would have not picked them to lose that game because the Saints were free falling. They made trades at the trade deadline. They got a bunch of dudes hurt, but somehow, like you said, it's a rivalry game, so they took that one on the chin. You got the. I'm gonna tell you something. The Broncos really should have. What are they? What are they? What are they record? Here we go. The Broncos are 5-5. They should be 6-4. They won that game last week, man. Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry. They won that game last week, man. The NFL said something different, but they won that game last week. Okay, in
Yeah.
position, lined the thing up right down the middle. Dude been kicking field goals all game. Decided to kick this one 3 feet off the ground. Got blocked. Could have been blocked by like 4 dudes. Kansas City walks off with a win. Kansas City should be like, what are they? 9-0. Probably should be like 7-2 or 6-3, maybe. I think Atlanta probably beats them if they don't run a stupid play on that fourth down, running wide and let guys get penetration. I think probably they may have even could have lost to was it Tampa Bay or New Orleans that they was like right there and they could have lost and like they made a play at the end and won it. Um, Whatever. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. Um, this is an interesting game because the Denver, they're very well coached. You got Sean Payton. And of course he knows the Falcons because he's coached against them for the Saints for many years. He knows how they're kind of put together and kind of knows all that stuff. They're going out there with Bo Nix, and some guys, and good defense, obviously. And the Falcons coming to the game, hey man, they Bijan and got good playmakers on the outside with Drake London and what's the other kid's name? Is it Jefferson? Is that the
No,
kid?
he's not there. He's not there anymore.
No, 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 no. It's the guy that used to be with the Bears. It's
Darnell Mooney.
Donnell Mooney. Yeah, yeah. And then of course Kyle Pitts, that big all everything tight end. It's gonna be an interesting game. You also got the dynamic with the high altitude and things of that nature that always plays a factor. That's why the Broncos always have had one of the better home records, even though they may not have a good overall record. They're always better at home than on the road because you always got to account for that. The Broncos are favored by 2, which means it's basically a toss up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know about this one. I think the Falcons have the better team. I just don't know if because the Broncos play so they play because I mean you basically held Patrick Mahomes to 2 touchdowns. You held them to 2 touchdowns. Um, I want to pick the Broncos, but I feel like the Falcons are going to have just enough offense to beat them. I don't know, man. I'm gonna let you cook for a little bit while I mull this one over.
Well, if you lean Falcons, I'm definitely leaning Denver. Denver's defense, 10 games in, they've beaten the allegations, as the kids say it. As far as if we were wondering whether they could keep it up, I think 10 games is enough of a sample size to know that's a legit defense over there. And Drake London meet Patrick Surtain. It'll be
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you, Mike. For
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
evening,
yeah,
afternoon for him.
yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game as far as touchdowns is concerned. And I think the Broncos have a formula that's really working for them right now. And Bo Nix is starting to unlock whatever his potential is. And I think that the playbook is expanding from Sean Payton because of that. And so it puts some things on the board for a Falcons defense that's highly susceptible to giving up a lot of chunk plays, a lot of plays on the ground. Um, they struggle to get pressure a lot, so it gives that young quarterback time to sort of just find his outlets and check down to the running backs and tight ends and stuff that he likes to do. I
Yeah.
think he'll have success doing that against that Falcons defense. Again, being at home, um, all of the all of that recipe to me lines up to if the Falcons can, and they're certainly capable with the talent. To your point, if they can sort of open the field up and make the big plays that they need to make, then maybe this game swings their way. Um, and they're certainly capable, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with the home team, man. I really like what the Broncos are doing right now, and I think we're at a point now as we head into the second half of the season where culture identity starts to kick in a lot more, and with the way the Broncos are able to play defense when it comes down to like a field goal game, I'll go home team. I'll give it to Sean Payton to sort of protect the young quarterback from himself and play mistake-free football for a Falcons defense that struggles to, you know, make the big play themselves. So I think there was a little more optimism that the Falcons would have a better defense this year. On paper, it certainly looked that it was going
Oh
to
yeah.
head this way. I don't think it has, to be honest. But I mean, yeah, if you go Falcons, it's to me it is a toss-up game. But
Yeah.
I'm just if I'm scrambling for reasons why I'm just going with the gut pick of the Broncos, that's what I'm doing right now because
Okay.
it's just a gut pick, man. But it could definitely go the Falcons' way as well.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go on and do it, man. I'm gonna go Falcons. So I'm gonna do that. Let's do that again. Oh, I didn't want to do it again. Okay. Oh, I hit the sound off. There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna go Falcons. For no other reason, I think their fundamentals of the Broncos might be better. I just think the overall talent that the Falcons put out there might be better in terms of like what they're putting out on the field. It's a matter can they put that together. I just think they'll probably have a little more to do with in terms of materials to work with. Um, and if they were playing in Atlanta, I think it might be I think they can run away and hide from them on that quick surface, you know, whatever. But they're playing up there. Weather might have some things to do with it, so it might be a little closer. But I like the Falcons' talent coming off a loss, and I know they feel like hey man, we got a chance to solidify ourselves in this division and position ourselves playoff wise. And I think we let one get away, and we feel like we need to go up here and get this win here. And I think the Falcons will do that. So I guess I'm gonna pick the Falcons on this one. So all right, man. The second 3 o'clock 3:05 game. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be much of a game. It's a division rivalry, but I think it's you got the Seattle Seahawks and going up to I think it's Levi Stadium now. It used to be Candlestick back in the day to play the 49ers. 49ers getting their guys back. They starting to get their swag back. Um, you know, Cafferty's back. I think Debo is back. Almost. I don't know how close to 100% he might be. I think they're starting to. I think they went to Tampa last week. Well, and won. Of course, I know Tampa's got the injury bug is hitting them, especially their wide receiver core. So, um, but yeah, here we go. I'll get my injury report here pulled up. See here, Noah Fant. Wait, Connor Williams. Actually, Connor Williams has retired. He no longer plays for the Seahawks. He used to play for the Cowboys. That's just a point of order there. Shadarius Ward is out, and da, 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 da. George Kittle is questionable, but we know he's playing. Trent Williams is questionable, but we know he's playing. Nick Bosa is questionable with a hip. He's playing. Um,
Is DK Metcalf playing?
I don't see him on the injury report that I got. Now I don't know how early this will. They send out one and then they send out some stuff later. I don't see DK on this.
Okay. So it looks like he is back for sure. Okay, good.
Yeah, if Tradarius Ward's not playing, that's a big edge for DK because them dudes right there be had some battles. I know one thing about your analysis that I like, TK, is that when we talk about games, you like to talk about like the individual matchups. Like you got a specific corner against a specific receiver. A lot of times that determines what happens in the game. And I know it's like last game you was talking about Drake London, meet Patrick Surtain. And that's a good thing because Patrick Surtain probably the best corner in the NFL right now. An argument can be made for that, right? And so in this game here, Tradarius Ward is known as a physical corner. I mean, he's physical, and he's a good cover corner, but he's very physical. DK Metcalf is a physical wide receiver. They almost get into fisticuffs when they play each other. It's sort of like Mike Evans and Marcus Lattimore. That is almost like gas and a lit match when they come against each other. So Tradarius Ward's not playing, so if DK Metcalf is playing, yeah, you gonna have a hard time covering that dude, because uh, but I still think that the 49ers are the better team. They're playing at home. They beat the Seahawks about a month ago on Thursday night, I think. Um, it was Thursday night or Monday night, I forget, but I know it was a prime time game, and I think they're starting to get their mojo back. I think they know if they got any designs on winning the division, uh, they can't drop the rope at home to the Seattle Seahawks, who were kind of reeling. They were 3-0 at one point, and I think they done dropped three of their last four or something to that effect. They not something like that. I don't have a record in hand. I guess I could find it out real quick. I think they're like 3-7 or something like that. 3-6, 3-7, somewhere like that. They are 4-5. 49ers are 5-4.
Yeah, they're
49ers are known to be like 5-4, 6-3, and then reel off like 4-5 straight wins down the stretch. They've done that before. We've seen that movie before. And I think they get that started this week. Actually, they started last week actually they started a couple weeks ago with the Cowboys, but I think they get that done because they had a buy off. They beat the Cowboys and they came back and they beat Tampa Bay last week, and I think they come back and get this win this week. DK Metcalf I think he makes some spectacular catches this week, but I think the 49ers win.
go 49ers for sure, but I mean it's a division game. I think they're much closer than you probably thought because they're only a game back from the Niners, so it's a big game for the Seahawks. So I think the Niners are going to get their best shot. I think it's going to be a real good game. I think this is one of those games that may be like a sleeper. People may not be looking at it on the calendar as like a premier game, but in that 305 slot, I actually think this game might have a lot more scoring than that game we're about to talk about next. So I think this game might get fun, man. C-Mac is back. Um, Looks like they're starting to integrate Pearsall into Ayuk's routes.
Got his first touchdown last week.
You know,
Yeah.
he broke the end zone last week, got that out the way. So I think
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game, man. It's definitely going to be a game I'm watching. I think it's going to be much more exciting than people may just feel like. I mean, you got good reasons to just feel like Seahawks are kind of reeling, and the Niners haven't been as dominant this year as previous years. But I got this one for like one of those fun games, 30-27 type of games, man. So I'm gonna give it to the Niners, but I think there's gonna be plenty of scoring. Think the Seahawks will make plays, and both teams run the ball. So I think we'll see a lot of C-Mac and Kenneth Walker III, and I think they'll break the end zone. I think that's the big thing right now in a lot of these games. Can you break the end zone and can you make an exciting game out of it? And I think they'll both check the boxes on that. So good game, but of course I'm definitely going Niners with you.
Okay. Both got the Niners. And I think, like I said, an NFC West battle. All those teams are kind of close together. They're kind of all muddled together. I think the Cardinals are leading. I think they got a bye this week, if I'm not mistaken. They're leading it with like what are they? I think they're 6-4. I think, and they got a bye this week, and I think they're 5-4. I think they're 4-5, and I think the Rams are 4-5 or 4-6 or something like that. I can't remember, but they're all kind of you know
Yeah,
packaged in there together.
yeah.
Somebody got to emerge out of that pack. You know. And I think the 49ers are trying to distance themselves or pull themselves out of there because I know they lost to the Cardinals earlier in the season. I know they can't wait to get back at them later in the season, so we'll see how that goes. But we both got the 49ers on that one. Then not only I think this might not be the game of the day, this might be the game of the year, man. Maybe I'm putting too much hyperbole. Maybe I'm putting too much hot sauce, too much. I may be putting a
Well,
little bit too much in it.
it's a little too much.
You think a little too much? Okay.
Well, it's also about the guys that aren't, because when the schedule gets made, man, this game is a circle game, so everybody circles this game. But then once you actually get to it, because it's a November game, it's like, well, Isaiah Pacheco's not here. Um, Hollywood Brown's not here. Rasheed Rice is not here. Dalton Kincaid isn't playing in this game. He's not here. Likely Amari Cooper probably won't play, even though he has a chance to. But
All right, so I got some thoughts about that. We'll get to that when we get to that.
yeah,
Keep
I
cooking.
believe I believe young fella Keon Coleman, the
Mhm.
young buck is out as well. So we're getting this game, but we're getting this game with a lot of injuries, man. So
Yeah, yeah,
it, we're getting it with injuries to the skill position.
yeah.
We watch these games because we want to see some scoring and some big plays, but there's a lot of guys that can do that are out for this game. So
Right.
I think it's a little steam off of it, but nonetheless, it's still
Josh,
Patty.
Josh and Pat.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
Josh and Pat.
you still sell the fight with that alone, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of fireworks potentially missing. But so for that reason, I think it's going to be much more of a grinded out slugfest than maybe potentially what it could have been if both teams come in healthy, where we see a lot of fireworks through the air. I think both sides and trying to control the game. And
Mhm.
the Chiefs don't have their kicker, who's one of the better
Yeah.
kickers.
He's on IR, isn't he?
Well, he's out for weeks, so we'll
Yeah.
see if he comes back down the stretch, but he'll be out for weeks. So
I'm
it's
sure
like,
they wouldn't. I'm sure they wouldn't got them a kicker. I don't know who
yeah,
that'd be.
yeah, for sure.
That's major though. Harrison Butker is like
Yeah.
maybe one of the four or five
Especially
best kickers in the game, man.
when you talk about going to Buffalo in this one, and
Yeah.
if it comes down to that
Yeah.
field goal, and you know, does that become more a part of the game now with him being out?
Or a
Does
guy
it
you can't,
become,
or a guy you don't trust as much.
yeah, a guy you don't know, you don't really trust him, doesn't really have a history behind him,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think this is gonna be a close one, man. And unfortunately, in terms of, I'll get out the way here. It's Chiefs for me, man. There's no way I'm betting against Pat in this one. I
Oh,
say unfortunately because I do wish Josh had his full arsenal because I think it would give him a better chance to get this done tomorrow, but he doesn't. And I just think there are certain things that he likes to do that when you take Kincaid away, that's a major loss. You know, I
yeah.
know Amari Cooper was a in season acquisition, but you know when you take him away and then you take Keon Coleman away, you're taking away those big body X receivers,
Yeah.
and you don't got Diggs anymore. So when the two guys you had brought in to replace that Diggs production for a game like this, you don't have those guys tomorrow. So um, I just think it's a little unfortunate for Josh because I know this is a game he wants, whether he says it or not. It's a game that they want as an organization, but the Pat train gonna keep rolling tomorrow, man.
Let me cue up this boxing thing. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So let me put it like this. I kind of low key pull for the Chiefs. If it's like if it's a team that I like that I don't that it ain't the Cowboys, and I kind of pull for the Chiefs. I like to see Patrick do stuff, and I like Andy Reid. I like his creativity. I like the way he can okay, this ain't working. Let's try this, and he'll come up with some. he'll like, okay, let's draw up a play, and it'll end up working and whatever. And I just love that creativity and how they do things and whatnot. I have to say, this year, they really, when I watch them now, I think we've talked about this in length. When I watch them, I think that they give me visions of the 2017, 2018 New England Patriots. They kind of, we just going to do just enough. We're going to be fundamentally sound. We'll make a play here and there. We're going to run the ball. We're going to make safe plays. Defense is going to play sound. They're going to stop you. They're going to stop your run. They're going to stop you from throwing it. They're going to make you make a mistake, and then we'll win, 20-17. That's what they've turned into. The Chiefs used to be they can score 35, but they're going to give up 27, and they're going to win 35-27. Patrick Mahomes throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns and make some behind the back, between the legs throw that'll be like, oh my gosh, it tears up the internet. But they're not that team now. They play close to the vest. He'll throw it away. And don't get me wrong, he'll throw one underhanded somewhere if he's about to get sacked and he's sitting right there. He'll throw it. He'll do that. But more than not, he'll turn it over to his defense. Steve Spagnuolo might be the best defensive coordinator in the league right now. He got guys like, I really thought of Kansas City as a defensive team. You thought of them as like, okay, they'll get 4 stops in the game, and that's all Pat will need. Now Pat's only scoring like 2-3 times a game, and the defense getting like 9 stops because you only get like 12 possessions in the game. He's getting 9 stops out of them 12 possessions. And the thing, though, is the Chiefs not only don't have the skill positions that they used to have. There's no obviously there's no Tyreek Hill. There's but they don't even have Rashee Rice. They went and they did a hustle trade and got D Hop. I think Smith Schuster might be back this week. Because I didn't see anybody else on the injury report other than Pacheco, which we know Pacheco is he's going to be out another week or two before he'll be back. Whatever.
Juju is back.
Yeah, so he'll have Juju, he'll have Hopkins, and he'll have Worthy, and he'll have Kelsey. And then he'll turn around and hand the ball to Kareem Hunt, and that dude Steele, is that his name? Steele?
Carson Steele, yeah.
Carson Steele, yeah. USC, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Look, man. They're not going 17-0. They're going to lose at some point.
I agree with that.
They not going 17-0. Matter of fact, I think they living on borrowed time because they know they playing what they call that destination, whatever. What's that movie when you cheat death and that's you death chasing you the rest of the movie. You was on a roller coaster and you didn't get on it because you went to go get your hat and they went on without you and the thing fell apart and you're like, oh dang, you were supposed to have been on there. And then the rest of the film, it's a bunch of hit because death is on your track because you cheated death. Yeah, they cheated death last week. All right. They should have lost last week. Everybody knows that. All right. I think Buffalo gets them. Scale down, missing Amari Cooper. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you something. The thing about Amari Cooper, and I'm gonna speak about this. Amari Cooper is an uber talented receiver. There's not a dude that runs the route tree better than him. Okay. I know all about him from 15 years ago when he was at Bama, 12, 15 years ago when he was at Bama. I know about him, okay? Good route runner. Can catch any ball, runs every route, okay? But the dude will, if it's not, is like not right. He's not playing. Y'all think I'm playing with that. That was a thing when he was at Bama. Was like if he's not a completely 100%, he's not playing. They got him a couple of weeks ago.
I'm actually reading. I know you're saying what you're saying, but I'm actually reading something that's saying he's actually he got a good shot at playing tomorrow.
Yeah, he's only questionable. He's questionable. But the point with him is if he's questionable with most people, that means it's 75, 80% of the time he's going to play. If he questionable, it's like 40% of the chance he's going to play. That's just what I'm saying because, it's a wrist. I'm like, okay, Tyreek Hill's had a wrist all season. They missed a game. And it may not be the same injury, may not be the same thing. I'm just saying that's the history that he has. He had that history with the Cowboys. A lot of games he was conspicuous. Why he ain't on the field? So if he plays and he's dialed in, but I think the Bills win this game because I think this might be the thing that kind of pushes Josh into the MVP category game. I think it's Lamar's to lose. But if you beat Kansas City without basically you and James Cook and what's the dude's name, Davis? It's you, him, and Dalton, not Kincaid, but Dawson Knox. And you beat the Chiefs. That's a feather in your cap, and I think Josh needs that. And I think that's the one thing that's on. Dang, I can't beat this guy when it counts. I can't beat this. So I think the Bills get it done.
Gabe Davis.
I pull for the Chiefs, but I think the Bills get it done because I think they're playing at home. They gotta have it. I think the Chiefs got away with one last week, and I think it catches up with them. And I think the 72 Dolphins, however many of them are left, will pop in their champagne about like 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. I got the Bills. So on that one, I'm gonna fight you on that one. I'm going Bills. Now I'll be happy if the Chiefs win it, but I think it's Bills. I think it's their time. I think they just do. It's time. It's time. If not now, when?
I don't know because they ain't winning tomorrow, so I don't know when.
Okay.
They ain't winning tomorrow.
All right. This might be the one that I'd be like, you'd be like, dang, I'm gonna give you your feathers on this one, your flowers on this one. I got the Bills winning that one.
I got the Chiefs losing the game, but you off on the week is gonna happen. It's gonna happen here in the next few weeks when they play.
But just not this week.
Yeah, they got the Chargers coming up in a few weeks. I think the Chargers get them, but
not this week. Okay.
No. This isn't the right Bills team.
All right. Well, game of the century, like boil down to a bunch of guys because a lot of guys is out. So, but it's still going to be much watch TV because number 15 and what was Josh, number 12, number 15 and number 12. He's not 12. What number is Josh? Bill, that's Josh. That's yeah, that's that. You can't give him Bill, huh? 17. Yeah, it's number 12, number 17, and number 15. Yeah, that's why you watch this. High level quarterbacking and playmaking. That's what you're gonna see in that game without the other players, whatever. Buffalo win by 2. I think they win by 3. I think the Harrison Butker thing is a factor. They may go for it on 4th now when they probably would just kick a field goal, and I think it comes back to bite them. I got Buffalo. All right, 7 o'clock at night on NBC Peacock. A game I think should have been flexed to probably a 3 o'clock time frame and put the Steelers and Ravens at that slot, or put the Kings.
No, don't do that, Fred. This is a good game, man.
Yeah. I ain't feeling that one like that. I ain't feeling that one like that. I got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to SoFi Stadium to take on the Chargers. Chargers favored by 1.5. The Bengals didn't they win? Who did they play last week? They on a bye. Who played last week? I know they lost to. I know they lost to the. They lost to the Ravens on Thursday night the week before. So maybe they didn't play Sunday. They didn't play Sunday, right?
No, there was a Thursday night game last week. That's
right. So they didn't play Sunday. So their last game they lost to the Ravens, right?
Yeah, that was the Jamar Chase game. It was epic. Yeah.
Jamar Chase was freaking ridiculous.
They lost. It was amazing. It was a controversial ending to that.
That game came down to Brown. He don't fumble that game. I think they win that game, but that changed the whole momentum of that game. Fumbled it. They get a touchdown. Then all of a sudden, Baltimore feels like they got, and it's like once that momentum flips like that, you don't get it back, man. But I know they made a push. They got back in the game and everything. But it was 21-7 and they was driving, and dude fumbled, and they got a touchdown out of that, and it kind of flipped because they score even a field goal there. It's 31. It's 24-7. Yeah, it's not the same game. That game got turned into Lamar got to cooking. And it's like once he got cooking, I'm like, oh no, he ain't getting it. You ain't getting it now. You should have got me when I was down. You ain't get me now. So he should have got me when you should have got me. But you got this game. You got the Chargers and the Bengals. Look, man, I think it might be over for the Bengals. I think they are 4-6. I think
I don't think so. They
I know you can't never count out Joe Burrow, but I think he's going to play well. But I think the Chargers, I think like the Broncos, they play a sound fundamental game. They fundamentally sound, man. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They can run the ball when they need to. Herbert can throw it when he wants to. I know they kind of got the weird thing with what's his name, being offensive coordinator for a guy with an elite quarterback, which is kind of strange to me. We talked about that early in the season, but they put together some nice wins. That's I can't front. The Chargers have been sort of maybe a surprise team to me. Them and the Broncos are surprise teams. They're doing a lot better. Them and those three and the Commanders are doing much better than you would feel like we would have slotted them to have been. You thought they would have had a little more growing pains and stuff with the coaching staff, GM change, and all the different new players and stuff that they've inserted in there. I got the Chargers, man. They're favored by 1.5. I know you can't never count out Joe Burrow. He's having one of his better seasons, but the team around him has not been as good. Maybe it was a mistake to not re-sign Joe Mixon because he's acting a fool over there in Houston. And of course now you went and got Khalil Herbert from the Bears because I think the other guy is it Moss? I think he's been out. And I think he may be out for a while, so that's why they make the deal for Khalil Herbert. So we'll see. I thought Khalil Herbert was a guy that kind of undervalued on that Bears team. I think on another team he could have been doing some other things, but that's going to be interesting. I think it'll be close though, but I'm going to go with the Chargers. Herbert, the Chargers, Dobbins. I think they win. Because I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to play good defense, and I think they win a close game. I got the Chargers.
Go ahead and get your bail out, man.
Oh, he going the other direction. He going the other direction.
There you go. Yeah, man. This is going to be a really good game, man. This is a good matchup between stout, solid Chargers defense against an explosive Cincinnati offense that's going to get back T. Higgins for this one tomorrow night. And they're starting to open the playbook up for Herbert. I think there's a correlation to the fact that he's gotten healthier as the season went on. And the fact that they're starting to open up. I saw it last week. I watched them play the Titans. They threw the ball down the field. They took shots. I think there's going to be more of that because this is what that game is going to demand because I think Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins are about to put on a show tomorrow night. And I think that's going to, force the hand of L.A. and Herbert to expand the playbook, open it up a little bit more. I know they'll try to control the clock through their run game and their approach with Todd Monken, his philosophy and everything. But I think this game is going to have plenty of scoring. I think we're going to see a lot of big plays made on both sides because Cincinnati gives up big plays. That's what's kind of been their identity throughout the year. And I think the Chargers are going to exploit that as well. So I know you sleeping on this one, man. I think you sleeping on the Seahawks and the Niners.
You think I'm sleeping on them games?
But yeah. You sleeping on this one, man. This gonna be a good one.
Okay. Okay. Think I'm
Yeah.
sleeping on this being the 7 o'clock game. Okay.
Well,
All right. I could be wrong.
because of what it's gonna actually provide. It's gonna provide scoring. Um, both teams are good. I know the record doesn't reflect because of that poor start Cincinnati got off to, man, but that's still an elite quarterback, and Jamar Chase is right now is probably the most dangerous
Woo.
single player on offense in the entire league. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he getting his running mate back tomorrow night. So good luck with that.
Right.
um, yeah, I think that's going to be a great game. I think I'm going Bengals because I think they're going to ultimately score more points than the other team, which is how you win. But man, the way they get to it, I just think it's going to be a great watch, man. I really do. So um, the Chargers are going to be tested to the winds, to all ends of the earth. They don't really have a home field advantage like most teams in this scenario, just because they
Right.
just
They're
they,
they're an adopted team. They don't
yeah.
even, right. We know. We know.
No,
Um,
it's inside. It's Sunday night. The elements don't play a part. I think the Bengals are going to try to throw that ball all over the field, and I think
yeah.
they're going to have some success. And I think the Chargers are going to have some success too. So I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to be high scoring, and the same. I mean, it's similar to what we just got between the Bengals Ravens. I think in its own way, we get a game like that. I mean,
Yeah.
shout out to the Bengals and Ravens for giving us two classics in one season.
Right. Right.
I
They
think
did do that. They did do that.
I think the Bengals Chargers, yeah, it's gonna be one of them ones, man. So
Here-
um,
Here's here's my pushback on you on that is that the thing is what people ain't talking about is the Chargers defense though.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
the one, I think they made them and maybe one of the only team in the league they ain't give up. I don't think I don't think they've given up 20 points in a game this year.
I don't know about that. I can't
Yeah,
say.
I think I saw that somewhere, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that they were like that. And they got some dudes on their defensive line. Cincinnati ain't got the strongest offensive lines.
Oh,
Um,
that's a fact. That's a fact. But it's
um,
also a fact that week in and week out, that's the reality, and
yeah,
Joe Burrow understands that,
yeah,
and Joe Burrow just knows the assignment, man. And right now, he's throwing to the most dynamic player in the league right now. So T. Higgins coming back is a huge add for this team. I mean, it literally changes everything for them when they have both of them guys out there
well,
together.
they have more weapons. They definitely got more weapons than them because people sleep on Mike Gesicki too. They sleep on him. I remember him. He's in
Well,
Miami.
well,
He's a he is a quality tight end.
he
Um,
is. He gonna have him
yeah,
he
yeah.
gonna have him a long day with Derwin James, but
You ain't kidding about that.
yeah. But nah, man, that's gonna be a real good one.
Yeah.
Sparks flying. Okay, that's actually one of my circle games for the week. I'm
Okay.
really excited to
Okay.
watch that game tomorrow night, man. And I just think we're gonna see some fireworks in that one, man. And I think the Chargers are a playoff
Okay.
team. They're a really good team. Their defense is top notch, top five,
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
offense is really coming around too. So I think,
The offense is coming around. I think they need an additional weapon. I think they need one or two weapons because they don't really have anything but Dobbins and who's the shoot they I don't know who else they have.
well, I mean, I know people were quick to jump on Quentin Johnson being a bust, but this year I think he's turned that narrative around. His production is up. He's making big boom pop plays, long touchdowns. I think he'll probably get one tomorrow. And it's just, I mean, it's Todd Monken. So if you remember the Ravens' identity, they kind of just, when it came to receivers, they just figured it out. And it looks like that's what they're doing with the Chargers this year. And I just told you, I think the Chargers are going to be the team that actually knocks the Chiefs off in a few weeks. So I really do buy into the Chargers, but I think the desperation on Cincy coming into this game. They know they need it. They've got Pittsburgh the week after, so I know they're looking at this game like this. If we can get this one, we if we drop that game against Pittsburgh the next week, we got 3 or 4 weeks after that where we like our chances. So I just think with them, their identity in their building, it's like if we can just get this one against the Chargers, man, we gonna be in good shape. So um, I'm not counting out the Bengals. I think they're gonna rip off some wins here down the stretch and make the playoffs. And I think it starts right here. So
All right. All right. We're fighting on that one. Well, here's the last one of this. We get to the first game next week. We're gonna go ahead and close out because I gotta get out of here. So I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on this. We definitely ain't gonna fight on this next one. Monday night, AT&T Stadium, Battle of Texas. You got the Houston Texans traveling to AT&T to take on them vaunted Dallas Cowboys, and not really,
oh man.
not really.
I'll get my piece out and just get out the way for this one.
Yeah. Well, I ain't got much for this one. Go on. Do your. They're gonna be about the same. You can put all what I'm gonna say on a post-it note.
Yeah, I expect Nico. Nico was a late scratch last week. I expect him to play
Mhm.
in this one, and I think that was a little deliberate because I think he's about to have a welcome back field day. Unfortunately for you and Cowboy Nation, man. If there was a get right game that Houston needs right now, it's going to be this one. And
Never thought the Cowboys would be chicken soup, but okay, yeah.
it's in Dallas, which you look at the recent history of teams coming in and putting the whooping on them. I'm Cowboy adjacent, virtue you, so I hope it don't go like that. But it kind of got the smell, the stench, and like, ooh, might be ugly. Um, I don't think the Cowboys are going to move the ball much against Houston. I do think Houston is going to move the ball against them. That usually tends to mean there's going to be scoring on one side and not so much on the other. So uh, I would say I hope Dallas can keep it a little close so it don't get too bad. But yeah, I mean, it's Houston all the way as far as who wins. So
Yeah, yeah. I got some side hustle stuff on this game. It's always like the Cowboys always some extra stuff or whatever. It always is. Um, One thing I will pay some close attention to uh, is because I think you made a good point. That I don't think because if you saw that offensive display that the Cowboys put on last week against the Eagles, there was a point in there in the third quarter where they threw like 3 passes right at the line of scrimmage. What are we doing? It's like so their offense it's almost like they nerfed their offense. It's like, yeah, we not, whatever. So the fact you say, well, yeah, the Cowboys not going to be able to move the football again. No dip. No, they're not going to be able to because they you got Cooper Rush. He's got a very average offensive line. He's got CeeDee Lamb and a bunch of possibles. Hey, Jonathan Mingo's going to play and he's going to start.
yeah, for sure, get them
Whatever
out
that
there. Get them out there.
so I think it's going to be when the other sides of the ball have the football. I think it's going to be interesting because the Houston Texans, low key, not because of how they play, but they got some injuries on their offensive line. Kenyon Green has gone down. I'm not. I want to say Tunstall is injured or questionable, and we starting to get some guys back. Now I don't think they're gonna do enough to win the game, but good and well, Michael would love to put C.J. Stroud on the ground a couple times because that's
Oh, I don't doubt Micah.
go ahead.
I don't doubt Micah's ability to get a couple of those, but
Yeah,
I
that's
also think you mitigate that by the fact that Joe Mixon is about to have a party on.
150 yards, a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, he's gonna have a party on the soft in the middle Cowboy defense. So, um, you kind of take away Micah's opportunities when it's like that. You
Yeah.
know, when the team can really run the ball, that's what the Cowboys struggle with. And well,
Right. Right.
that's what Houston would be wise to do on Monday. So that'll open up the pass game, go over the top to Nico and Tank Dell, and you know, it's just a team that's it's just not the right form. We've seen this year when it's not the right formula coming in. As far as style clashes, when there's a team that can pound the rock and run the ball and then open it up over the top, that's the exact type of team that the Cowboys struggle with. And
Oh, of
well,
course. Of course.
that's what Houston is at their best. So
You see, the only thing is that because see, I think even if you watched the game last week against the Eagles they eventually ran away and hid from him because the defense, because the offense, I think they had like two first downs in the second half. Eventually, you're gonna, first half they was going step for step with him. You know why? Because Kellen Moore was trying to throw the ball. Uh, Barkley had like 6 carries at halftime. What are you
mm,
doing?
mm,
What are you doing? Because he wanted, you know why? He wanted to stick it to us.
mm,
Of course he did. He wanted,
mm,
oh yeah, I'm gonna show him how creative I can be. Yeah, you got your quarterback sacked 5 times. He's lost a fumble too, playing around. And when they got back in the second half, handed Saquon Barkley the football, they was able to exert their dominance over us or whatever, and they was able to win the game going away. But the first half, Ezekiel Elliott don't fumble into the end zone. We're probably leading that game at halftime. If uh, CeeDee Lamb don't lose the ball in the sunlight, they probably are up by a touchdown at halftime. You know, I don't think it would have held up, but you know, but he was because I said they was talking about it on the shows out there. They said he Saquon they pass they run the ball, he gets 6 yards, then they throw it 2 or 3 consecutive times, then they throw it, run it again, he get 9 yards, then he don't run him again. Then like dang, it could be 2 3 series and he may run the ball one time. And then you setting them up, and in meantime, Jalen Hurts running for his freaking life. You know, then when they decided to run the football, so if Bobby Slowick understands the assignment, yeah, we'll give Nico Collins a welcome back, a couple of throws here, there, and whatever, and Tank Dell or whatever. The assignment is to get Joe Mixon the football as many times as you can, and because we can't stop the run, we just can't. That's one of our fundamental flaws in our team building thing that we always have neglected. That middle, we've never been able to do that, and teams that we've beaten decided that they were going to beat us throwing the ball, and that kind of plays right into our hands, you know. But yeah, Texans going to win probably like 35 to like 13, something like that.
yeah.
27-13. 27-13. I get to our 27. I think our defense might be a little better. May play them a little better than that, whatever. 27-13. So, hate to say that. I usually don't vote against the Cowboys, but they in Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders,
You want to get
Mason
them
Graham, Ashante. They're in that mix now. They're looking at that now. There's all some other players I've been looking at. I've been looking at draft stuff now. So yeah, that's how
Oh
I know.
yeah, it's definitely come on, join the party,
Yeah,
man.
Ashton Genty, that's his name, Ashton Genty. Yeah, we in that mode now.
Yeah, for
What's the
sure.
kid's name at Penn State? Abdul Williams or something like that. Yeah,
They calling him Young Michael.
yeah, that dude. Yeah, we looking at that. We looking at them kind of. We looking at that. So, all right, the next game of the next week, Thursday game of next week. I'm just gonna just hit that because I gotta go. I'm already late. We
Yeah,
got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. I know the Cleveland Browns, in your opinion, going to come off a win this week, and I think we both have said they're going to come off a win this week. They'll entertain Pittsburgh. It's an 80. That's an 80-mile drive, and it's going to be. That's almost like it's many. It's going to be as many Steeler fans there as there are Browns fans because it's 80 miles apart. It's just across the river, right?
Mhm.
Um, Steelers may be coming off a loss and they're having a short week to prepare. But I got the Steelers winning that one. And I think the Browns give them a go because of the familiarity. I think the Browns keep it close, but it's not going. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's like maybe 20 to 17, maybe 24 to 16, 20, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's high scoring. I think it's defense lot of defense. I think Russell Wilson makes a throw or two late in the game. I think maybe Najee Harris gets a run or two late in the game to pull the game out, but I think it's going to be maybe like they win by like a touchdown. And I think it may be like 24 to 16 or something like that. I think that's what it might be. I think I got the Steelers.
Steelers all the way, man. Everything you said is gonna be slugfest division. Punch it out. Miles and TJ off the edges.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the typical what we all have come to expect in division. Browns Steelers in November, late November. Yeah, 2017 Steelers, man.
2017 Steelers. We on the same sheet of music, man. Same sheet of music. Well, that fans wraps it up. I know we kind of went a little long today, but there's some good stuff, man, and good insight, good intel. By my man TK, good insight, good analysis, man, top notch, man. Put him against anybody on this knowledge, corporate knowledge. Amen. Amen. That's the dude right there. He knows what he knows of which he speaks. He knows that stuff. So anyway, man, hope you guys have, as we always say, a good football watching Sunday. Enjoy your football while you still have it, and I hope your picks are as good as ours. I don't see anything on that chat. DK on the way out.
See you next week. Same
Hopefully,
time tomorrow. Excuse me. Same time next Saturday morning. I hope. And
yes.
let's do it again. Get some pick'ems in, man. That's it.
Let's make it a thing, man. Next time, same channel, right here.
Sure.
TK, Uncle Fred, right back at you next week. Catch you guys next week. God bless. Y'all take care.
Absolutely.